Hi, and this is the Infinite Elevation Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Reverend Natalie Jean, and this is... And we're here to give you a bunch of spiritual insights, some creativity, some new things you want to learn, some new things you may not want to learn, but you're going to learn them anyway. It's always a good show. We always laugh, we always have a good time, and we always try to keep it positive. So, Arlene, how was your day?
My day was full of in and outs. All right, I know you're going to ask me to elaborate, so
yes.
I might as well just do it right now. Just a lot of going places, in and coming out. So I'm back in school, and it just seems like, and I'm working at school, so it's like going from that to my classes, different floors, you know,
right.
moving here and there. So that's why I said a lot of in and out. But I guess it's a change thing. So I'm adapting to this new change, this new schedule of mine. But other than that, it's a nice day. How about you?
I'm still in crazy mode with everything that I need to do, with everything work related, and then, you know, ministry related and music related. Everybody has seen your poster on Facebook. They absolutely love it. Arlene created a poster for me for my CD release party, which is on April 25th at the Nectar Lounge. So everybody loved it. It was like, oh my God, this is so great, blah. So hopefully a lot of people will be there. There's a lot of people that have responded that are going to be there and stuff like that. So it should be an interesting event. And I know Arlene will be there with Linwood and with bells on. Although she sat in the car, it was like, oh, Natalie, whoo, I got class. I'm like, got class. We usually are doing a segment here, so she'll be there. Ching-a-ling-ling-ling. But it's amazing how much stuff a person can accumulate in their lifetime and the stuff that they need to do. But somehow, you know, things are getting done. Somehow.
My trick that I've been kind of trying to work on, I guess, but it's been working, is to not panic mentally.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to do, and the minute I start like thinking about it, start obsessing in my mind, I start going to panic and anxiety attacks, and I'm like, wait a second. And nothing gets done in all that time that you spend. So I'm just like, let me just do it, get out the way. And then I'm realizing, I actually have some time here, you know, so.
Yeah, for me, you know, what works for me is I'm so tired. I don't have time to care or worry about anything. It's just like the other day, you know, I was looking for my cell phone at work, and I couldn't find it. I called it. And you would think a long time ago I would have gone into panic mode because it's a $200 phone. And I'm like, where is it? I'm so tired. I'm just like, okay, let me go back to my car and see. It wasn't in the car. And I said, well, something else said, look under the car. And it had been raining. It was under the car. And,
wow.
and it was okay. But I find that because I'm so tired and, you know, I've gotten deeper into spirituality, I don't let things like that affect me anymore, because I always say there's nothing lost in spirit. Mm-hmm. So the things work out well. Like I don't know what I was looking for in my room, and it's something that it was very important. I was just like, okay, nothing's lost in spirit, and the thing just popped up in my face. So being tired really helps a lot. I mean, I don't want to be that tired, but when you're just like, you have so much going on, you don't have time to worry. You say, okay, God, handle it, because I'm handling all this other stuff. You do your thing. So I understand there's a process to trying to stay calm.
It is, and I think it's like more on faith-based.
Yeah.
You know, like a faith-based process. I was dealing a lot last quarter with that, because I felt like it was just so much, like, and I think we were talking about before we started shooting, demand on my time, and it was like, it seemed like it was more out of my control because it was part of like school. Then I had to still juggle, like a juggling act. I still had to juggle like 2 part-time jobs, like this and that. But then I knew it was a test of my faith. It was a test of like me persevering through it and just knowing that I can get through it, and that I will rest at one point, you know what I mean? So it's like you're kind of like you were saying, just going with the motion of it, not even thinking about it. And I remember the top of March, I was like, OMG, I don't know how I'm gonna get to. No, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get to April 1. Like it just seems so far. Like it was in a distant land. Like I had to go across the Sahara Desert or something, with no water. But like as I took steps day by day, it seemed like relatively easier. And then it was here, and I was like, oh. But another strange coincidence about that, it seems like, and I could be totally coincidence in my mind, but every spring, like right around, I guess, Lent, I go through some kind of trial or challenge in my life. And it's like the ultimate test of my year. And then I come through,
right
at Easter. I don't know. It's happened
Resurrection.
to me like the past 2 years. I just started noticing it, and I'm like, God, I don't know what the
What is this?
Yeah, but in the end, every single time, I've come out stronger. I've come out wiser. You know what I mean? Just things that I've learned about myself, and that I learned about like the process about life. I don't know. Kind of, what is the word? Priceless. That's what it is. Like a priceless experience.
I feel you. Yeah, sometimes you go through certain things and you're starting to say, wait a minute, why is this reoccurring? Maybe there's something that you have to learn from that situation so that it doesn't reoccur again. You know what I mean?
And also, like sometimes I feel it's a uniqueness about me because I look at my classmates. Like I don't know if you ever had this, you just stand in your life and then you look back. And then you're like, man, I accomplished all of that. You know what I mean? And I can kind of tell sometimes when I do art, because I have been kind of not doing it like I should. But all the stuff like you're talking about, you accumulate. You're like, okay, this took some time, over the course of 5 years. Look at all this stuff that I have, right? So it's like some people don't use their time, aren't active, you know what I mean, aren't as busy and involved or making changes, making differences. So their stuff is kind of like, I don't know. I'm just appreciative of where I am now versus where I was before. Maybe like a decade ago, because I really had no direction, no sense. No, I really didn't. I was like undecided. I even went to school as an undecided major. I just didn't know. I was like.
But when you knew, you followed your gut, you followed your instinct, and it was time. Everybody seems to think that, we're supposed to know everything out of the box. And there are a lot of people that go on and undecided because they really don't know what they want to do. But yet something happens in their life at a certain point which triggers them to say, okay, I know what I'm good at. I know what gives me passion. I know what gives me purpose, and this is what I'm going to do.
I've heard that we do know, like around 7 or 8, we do have an idea of what we are, but I don't know if it's our parents or the world or something kind of blocks us.
Well, I think it's more or less is that we're not ready to give in to that idea. And it can be parents that are telling you, no, maybe you shouldn't do this, and then we give in to that human conditioning. I think it can be many factors about why, some things are latent. Like for me, as a young child, I always wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to sing. That was my thing. I always enjoyed performing and stuff like that, and I really didn't get into it until now. 20, 30, 40, 30 years later, that's when I'm getting involved in it because, I start to think, well, maybe this was the time for me to do it. And if I had done it earlier, it wouldn't be the same thing because I wouldn't have gone through those experiences to be able to write the songs that I've written about life, love, whatever, and being obsessed and stuff like that. So, I believe that everything is supposed to happen when it's supposed to. I mean, we can want and wish, oh my gosh, wish I had done this before, but, in spirituality, there is no time. So, in humanness and the human conditioning, oh, you got to do this. Oh, you can't do this. You're too old. That's BS. In God's world, we can do anything at any time. There are 90-year-olds going to college. They're finished. There are 9-year-olds getting married.
No, and a part of what you were saying was making me think of, I'm working on this project. Yes, I already have a project. Week 1. But I did some research in the Bible, and I was led to like the Garden of Eden, and then I forget which proverb it is, but it was like about seeking wisdom, you know, and in the Garden of Eden, you know, the tree of knowledge and da 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 da. But the whole idea of wisdom, and I remember it was like, get wisdom, get understanding. I would read that, I'm like, what the heck? You know, for a long time, I didn't quite understand. And I don't know, in reading that, I kind of started to understand that we become wiser, and that eventually helps us make better choices. You know, in a way, because it's like, and that's in the whole discernment in your life experience. You know what I mean? You've established some sense of wisdom, so you're able to use that to get to the gold and silver I talk about, or whatever it is. But without that, if you're just kind of foolish and jumping out there, and when I was younger, I had the whole I'm invincible thing in psychology. They talk about how when we're late teens to early 20s, we go through this phase in our life where we think we're unstoppable, nothing, and that's part of the we're infinite being. But I think some of us push it to the max. Speed racing, or you know what I mean, drinking too much or whatever. Not saying that I did these things. Or am I endorsing these things? Right? But just saying that not really aware of, or you are aware of your potential, but not knowing how to maneuver it and control. I don't know. It's just a way, like, and so now I'm more wise about my decisions and leading, like, if I go to this person's party, and because I get invited to stuff, and I'm a little bit older, and the kids, and I'm like, no, I'll tell them off the bat. That's just not me. And it's not to be mean, but it's just like, where I am right now, I'm not going to put myself in a situation where the cops are going to bust through. No. It's just like, been there, done.
No, I know. I can feel you. This past weekend, a friend of mine, Etoile, she wanted to introduce me to some friends, well, some of her coworkers that are anesthesiologists. So the guy texted me and stuff like that and said, oh, you know, I'm going over a friend's house, it's having a little happy hour. Do you want to come? And I said, okay, but I said, I have to bring Etoile with me. I don't know you. I'm not going to, I don't know. So Etoile said, okay, I'll come with you. And so the guy says, okay, meet me over there at 7 o'clock. Now, we didn't get there till about 8 maybe 8:30, okay? Because we were running late and some other factors. So we get to the guy's house. This is not the guy's house, it's his friend's house. We open the door. The man doesn't even know who I am, didn't even know I was going to show up. But luckily, Etoile was with me, and he knew who she was. So we're sitting there. An hour and a half passes by, and this guy shows up at 9:30.
What?
Yes, Natalie was livid. I said, because this guy was expecting me to come to his friend's house by myself. Now, if I had shown up there at 7 o'clock, I would have been sitting there by myself, or there were other people till 9:30 with people I didn't know.
You don't know these people.
There was smoke coming out of my head. I had to use the principles. I had a glass of holy wine. I had to calm my nerves. And I kept telling Etoile, I said, I've never seen anything like this. This is so disrespectful. And the guy, I think, is about 36 years old. His friend is about 40. And so they were playing all this rap music, and you know, I don't mind rap music, but when it has the word nigger in it too many times, I just find it extremely offensive. And then they were saying stuff about women in it, and so, and I started to talk to the guy, and I said, you know, this music, it sounds all the same to me. Even some R&B songs sound the same. And I said, it's really sad that black folks, rappers, have to use the word nigger so much. I said, slaves are rolling over in their grave. I said, you all have no comprehension about what this word means. You all say, oh, you've desensitized it. I can tell you that you haven't. It's still in the Bible as something derogatory against black people.
Excuse me, were they black? Okay.
They were all black. It was all black. And I'm like, Really? I said, you all need to go back in time, because I'm sure when somebody was calling you a nigger, you wouldn't like it. And I don't care what a rapper has been through. They don't know what slavery is. They don't know what it's not like to have freedom. I said, it's disgusting to me. The guy didn't say a word, because that's the way I could vent off the fact that I was irritated at the fact that he thought that I was, I mean, I was just in shock. And these are people that are close to my age, and I'm thinking, my God. Oh no, I cannot hang with these people.
No, but they're also in professions, and you would think that.
Yes, you would think that they would know better.
Differently.
So, you know, and I told my friend at 12 that, you know, usually I hang out with a lot of older people. That's all. That's how I've always been. She's like, okay, I realize now that this was not your cup of tea. But, you know, after a while, when you get older, you see the things you like and you see the things that you don't like.
Or are you wiser?
No, I'm definitely wiser.
There might be older people like them that don't have that consciousness, and they're like so wrapped up.
Yeah, I think I'm wiser and more attuned to certain things, and I'm just like, really?
No, and what's funny about all of that discussion is, and I think one of my teachers when I went to Maryland, and I was taking, it was a public policy class, I remember he walked in off the bat, and then he started playing some Jay-Z, and they're cussing and this and that and this and that. And then people are like, yeah, let's get down. He turns that off. He's like, oh, you think this is what it's about, huh? Right? He's like, no. And basically giving them a little bit of education on the matter. He's like, it's not in every other word, because first of all, he's selling this to you. 9 out of 10 times, these people aren't even maybe in their everyday life.
Right.
Do you think Jay-Z is going up to the White House to Obama? Yo, what's up, my man? No, of course not. But it's put this image out in America that this is what rap is about. This is what some R&B song. And you know what's sad about that? If you listen to old school hip hop, old school rap, they didn't even really use terms like that. It was more about our day, what's going on, and even some of the older Afrocentric movies, you know, like Roots was a really deep movie,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that.
I saw it every year.
Oh yeah, it came on, like, and you're like,
every year.
I will never forget that. Even to the more modern, I think after Jamie Foxx did that movie, he won't. He'll change his music style up.
Yeah, I mean, because
do you know what I'm saying? It's just you have to really, and that I think some people get disconnected to that experience, and I don't know. It's just I can't, and I always would say this: I can't be part of, and I think you said it too. You can't be part of something that you're not. Do you know what I mean? If it's not you, like I don't think I could not go around calling people in. It's just.
No, I can't. I can't do that either. And what I was telling the young guys, I said, you know what, kids today, they need that slavery shoved in their face. They really need to see the pictures of black men being hung, or women being raped by slave owners and stuff like that, or, you know, the black men's testicles being ripped off and shoved in their mouth. They need to see that, because they have no understanding of what their freedom right now means. They can walk down the street with their pants all the way down to their ankles, and they think that's funny. But I'm sure if one of those slaves would come out the grave and come say, really? This is what you're doing? This is all, you know, I've been whipped, bound, chained, and this is how you're representing me?
No, and I think you can even take it further to like the jails and the cost of freedom. Because a great percentage of the African American community is incarcerated, you know, and it's more than half of that population is male. You know what I mean? So it's like, what went wrong where? You know, and I think if we had this education, well, a lot of people, I won't get into it, but, you know, after Martin Luther King, many things changed, you know, and the community was kind of fragmented and things of this nature. But still, it goes back to your fundamental, like, question, I guess, to your friend and these people is like, what are you thinking about? Why would you think this is okay?
Right. No, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think they're probably molded by that whole scene.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be all on Media Takeout and those like online gossip stuff. But then I started realizing I'm getting sucked into these people's energy and their life, and I'm neglecting my life and my time.
Well, that's the thing. That's one of the topics that I wanted to talk about is, what have we created in regards to the stars that are out there? Because I find that, these people become famous, and then they expect certain things. Like you know what I mean? They become, and so the topic of the fact that, Beyonce comes out with a song called Bow Down, using the B words, and she's basically telling all the other artists, I guess female artists or whoever, you better bow down because I'm the queen and I'm on top.
Oh, really?
You didn't know about this song? So Keisha Cole said that's ridiculous. She said it's shameful that she would come out with a song that's called, it's disrespectful, one, to her fans. It's disrespectful to the other female artists because Beyonce is good, but they're all good. And for her to come out with a song like that, it's ridiculous. I've lost total respect for her as an artist.
Well, I'm not going to give my
bow down. I wish you'd come to me and tell me to bow down.
I didn't hear it, but I'm not really shocked because she does have an ego.
But see, I've never known her to have that big of an ego.
But see, I think part of it too you have to think of is getting us to talk about it like this now too. She has to stay relevant. Me and my boyfriend have had this discussion that after she had her baby, or even before she had her baby, she was kind of fading off. I even saw something on television, not even television, it was on the internet. She does the same moves. Like if you watch her, like her hair hasn't changed. You know how some artists, they come out and they kind of reinvent.
Right.
But I see her doing the same thing. So I guess there has to be a level of using.
She's trying to come out hard, and I find that's not her. It's not her personality.
It is.
Well, like we sit here and we know her. She could be a raving bee, as far as we know. But it's just like
the images she's portrayed.
She comes out. She's like Sasha Fierce. She gets into her mode where she does her concerts and she rocks it out. But even if you're trying to get a different image or stay relevant, that's just the worst way that you could go. What are you trying to? You're better than everybody.
I think that. I agree. That's what comes across, and I'm glad that other female artists.
Oh yeah, they're like
are stating that, and also behind the scenes of her rising or whatever, like her original Destiny's Child, some of the members voiced.
Yeah.
How it was like, get out. It was like no 2 cents.
It's like deuces.
You've been
excommunicated.
Yeah, basically, and you can't even talk about it really.
Well, it comes, and then it came to my mind. It's like, look at what we've created.
Or is it the price of celebrity? Are you willing to sacrifice? And maybe she is. She's at a point where she's willing to sacrifice relations.
Well,
to get to even even higher state of whatever in her mind.
It's to the point. It's to the point that Rush Limbaugh said, "Oh yeah, Beyonce's got that route. Bow down. She's now learning to bow down to her husband Jay-Z because he has a lot of money." Now Rush Limbaugh is an idiot. I'm sorry, because Beyonce is worth over $100 million, so she doesn't need Jay-Z's money.
Right.
Idiot. And so he comes out with that. He just loved it because he thought that he was going to make, oh yeah, she's learned how to bow down and stuff like that. But, I say, what have we created in regards to these people? These people started, all of them, every single last actor, musician, whatever, they all started out in humble beginnings. I think Ludacris started selling his stuff out of a van. Now, I haven't heard bad things about Ludacris.
Jay-Z started out that way. Well, he was a drug dealer.
Yeah, they started out in humble beginnings.
I'm just saying.
You would, you would think that they would stay humble, but 90% of these people when they have their dressing room, I mean, I read this stuff, and I'm so flabbergasted by the demands that they have. One person, Madonna has to have orchids and 5 monkeys in her dressing room. I don't know, but it's really ridiculous.
No, it is. And even we were watching something on Nicki Minaj, and I'm not going to put my opinion. Well, I'll put my opinion. I think she's had some plastic surgery, but that's another topic.
But they say that she has.
Okay, all right. But anyhow, we even saw the magazine covers like in the stores, like, and I was shocked, like how bleached they made her appear, and I said, oh, now we're going for a European. I don't know. It was just a little, and the weaves, and I don't know. I just think, like you're saying, it's a step from who they are. They're more selling, and it happens. You're selling a brand. You're selling.
But that brand can fall. They have failed to realize they wouldn't be where they are if people didn't like them. If it weren't for fans, they would be nothing.
No, I understand that, Natalie, but I think that escapes
that
escapes the whole ride of it, because it's like they're on a. I think Kanye West said it once in one of his songs about being on a fast lane. You know, I don't want to get it.
He's another one.
I used to really get down with him when he first came out.
Oh my God, that's another one.
His music was really conscious. Like, he was saying some
real
but he's
stuff. Lost his consciousness.
Yeah, I think he's out of touch.
He's so, he thinks he's like it. Like, he creates the best music. He does
but
this
I think
and he
people
does
feed into that ego. You know how we all have our spirit and our ego.
Oh no, I agree with you.
The more somebody's ego is praised, there isn't someone there to kind of like
100%.
Yo, snap back to reality.
I agree with you 100%. And it's not just in musicians, actors, whatever. It's with ministers and spiritual people. And you can't blame them to a certain extent, because people have elevated them. People have put them on pedestals. So this is what they expect. They expect people run at their beck and call and go to their classes or.
No, and on the flip side of it, I like celebrities who use their celebrity to help others. I'll bring up Sean Penn. I'll bring up Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
I think they have reached a point where they're satisfied. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
Because, after you get a few million, how many more million do you need? Like, really? You know what I mean? So it's not really, now it doesn't really become about, I got to make it to get the money. You know what I mean? Some people's mentality. It's more about, now what do I do with this?
Yeah, Sean Penn actually said, he'll never leave Haiti. He's going to constantly go to Haiti. He's going to support Haiti. He's going to do everything he can. And he gets mad at the fact that people have almost forgotten about the earthquake and the survival that these people need.
But and I like what he did is, like, he removed himself from, because you can probably attest to it. It's a dream they sell you. You know what I'm saying? Hollywood it's like a whole.
It's a whole universe. It's a different universe. But we have created that.
Yeah, but it's making different realities. It's not real. Do you know what I'm saying?
We have created.
Movies are somebody's imagination or creation. Right. It's not you and me talking right here. It's something that comes out, but some people see this as a real thing.
However, some of the things that come out of movies can be fantastic, phenomenal, can be messages.
I agree.
But
it's still, like, the point that I'm saying, it's a creative endeavor. Like, it's a...
Right, but...
It comes from a place still creative. It can touch you, but it's just like, I wouldn't let it control me. I don't know if I'm explaining it.
No, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, all these actors, these musicians, it's humanity that has created them. It's humanity has created them to be so selfish and ignorant and egotistical, because we praise them and raise them rather than praising and raising ourselves.
Have you seen the movie Gia?
I've seen parts of it.
Where Angelina
She won
Jolie,
an Oscar for
yeah,
that.
she did a really good job. But it's about a model who was had a humble beginning, didn't grow up with much, and then she made it in New York, in the modeling scene, got really good, Europe, everything, but she lost herself, and then in the end, she ended up having, I think, HIV, and then it got into AIDS and stuff. But there's a scene in the movie where she goes back home, and then her mom is looking at her and is like touching her, like, what happened to you? You know, like, my daughter,
Right.
you went off, you were doing great things, but you lost who you are. You know, so I think it's that sense of, some of them are really good. They have that, well, I guess it starts to having a strong root in yourself, maybe.
Yeah.
And a strong foundation in who you are and what matters and what is real and what is not, you know? And sometimes we get blinded by flashy things and people. And
I mean, even with, in regards to Angelina Jolie, I love her. I think she's a beautiful woman. She does a lot of good. What I didn't like is that, you know, when she and Brad Pitt got together, ooh, they bashed that woman. They bashed her, they bashed her. They don't know what was going on in Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston's marriage, first of all. But yet, you know, they're calling her a womanizer, oh, home wrecker. Now, Jennifer Aniston, on the other hand, goes and finds this guy, Thoreau. They were in a movie together. At the time, Thoreau was in a relationship with a woman for 14 years. And Jennifer Aniston knew this, and, you know, they started dating, and the guy left his girlfriend. Not one person bashed Jennifer Aniston. Not one. And I don't care if you're married, have the paper, or not have the paper. That was still a committed. Thoreau was committed to that person for 14 years. That was less than the time that Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt were married. Not once did anybody say anything bad about Jennifer Aniston. And I think this is just hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. You know, do I believe in forever? No. I don't necessarily believe in forever when people get into relationships and stuff like that, because it's either you're going to grow together or you're going to grow apart. People evolve. Some people stay with it where they are. And, you know, they tell us in spirituality that there are 200 soulmates for each person.
oh, really?
Yeah, they're 200, child, 200. And so, you know, sometimes you can be in a marriage and then you can meet that person that just completes you. That's like that's your twin flame. And sometimes you leave that situation. So, you know, I don't judge people when they do that kind of thing, because I believe that Brad Pitt is her, you know, twin soulmate. They just, look at how many kids they have. They're just,
They keep adopting too.
yeah, and they keep it. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing. And so, I don't know. We create things, and we have the power, just like, to bring down the temple as well. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, you know, this whole marriage equality thing. You know, what I love about it is that on Facebook they created this little picture. It was like a red box with these two it's almost like equal signs, and it was an equal sign in there. And what I liked on Facebook is that a lot of people changed their Facebook page to demonstrate their support for marriage equality. I changed my picture.
I haven't noticed that.
You and Facebook don't have a love affair. You just now went on my page to say, oh, I like this.
No, I was trying to.
I was like,
I was like, where does Natalie want me to click the like thing? I was like really looking for it. Though.
I was like, oh, I was like, I had to triple check. Is that Arlene on there? My gosh, I was like, she's finally on. But it was beautiful to see how many people were endorsing this whole, you know, marriage equality thing. And, you know, people want to say the Bible says this, the Bible says that. The Bible don't say jack about marriage in a sense. You know, marriage is about commitment. Okay? Some people say it's not Adam and Steve, it's Adam and Eve. It is about commitment between two people. Then they'll try to throw in, well, you know, when you get married, you're supposed to have kids. Well, what about the people that can't have kids? What are they? Jehovah's Witness will tell you they're an abomination. That's what they told me when they came to my house. And I had to school them. But it is about commitment. And so when, you know, the red things first appeared on Facebook, I had to say, isn't this interesting? Back in the day, people didn't want to see black and white people get married. It was illegal. And if a black man was walking with a white woman, boy, he was going to get thrown in jail, lynched, his penis was going to get cut off, all kinds of things. Now, like I said, 95, 98% of our country is interracial. And what's the best thing about it is that when you have a black man or a white woman or it's interracial, they create some of the most beautiful children in the world. It's just like having the best of both worlds. And so back then they thought it was wrong, and now they think it's a beautiful thing. Now, you come into play with the war. People are always, oh, they're proponents for war. You go into a country, we call the people heroes. They kill 100,000 people. Oh, that's collateral damage. People love that idea. But yet, two people are coming together because they want to love one another and be committed to one another. People have something against that. It doesn't make any sense. And you know, I understand people, there's some people that just don't understand why two people from the same sex would want to be together. And they don't have to understand it because it's nobody's business. You're not going to be in the bedroom with them. They're going to do their thing just like heterosexuals do. And then, you know, these people have this mindset that heterosexuals don't do the same thing that homosexuals do in the bedroom. It's all the same thing. It's all, some people are into the same thing. It's just like, but they have the right to express their love. They have their right. I mean, there are stories about partners that are together for years and then the one partner gets sick and then the family members don't want that partner in the room. They don't want them to have anything. And it's unfair. They push them out like that person never existed. Mm-hmm. If it's my right to be married and be in a loving relationship, why isn't it somebody else's right to be in a loving relationship? And then you have these idiots that have come, oh, what's next? Bestiality? People are going to start marrying their pets or marrying, it's ignorant. It's ignorant.
I give NBC kudos because they have that show. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I think it's The New Normal.
Yeah, the girl from
Atlanta,
the Housewives, Nene, she's on it.
And I've caught it here and there, and I don't know if the other night was their season finale or whatever. Because I watched
I've seen it. It's funny.
It's really funny. But I like their satire because they're poking fun at a lot of these holes, you know, in the whole debate. And but it's also on national television,
right,
and it's in your face. So I'm really like wondering how the network like pulled that off. First of all, like in terms of because they get really strict about certain things. I was watching the SNL thing, and they pull the plug on anything any minute. But I think it's a really bold move. Just like Gap had those ads. I don't know if you saw them last spring, where they had two men kissing, two women hugging and stuff for their T-shirts. Some inside of the shirts and stuff.
Some business industries, they're bold. They're saying, "Screw you! I'm going to show you the real America."
And I think Gap is like targeting, like that's their target market. So it's a really wise strategy to revive their brand, but also to get in good with the target market. And I guess America is changing.
Oh yeah! Oh, drastically, drastically.
And I don't know if we'll have time to talk about this, but just the other day I heard with the change of America, when the Republican Party is doing their autopsy report, and they realized that they were way behind. Yeah. I was like, you just now that's like, where were you like?
They knew
2 elections ago, like, you know. So you know, they were trying to reach out more to the Latin vote and reach out more to young people.
Too late.
This and that. But I think what it's showing is that the baby boomers are slowly getting over that edge, you know, where the bulk of the decision making is now transferring hands.
Right.
And there's a larger percentage of the population that is more liberal.
Way more liberal.
Way more accepting, way more tolerant. I don't know what word to say, but it's just that
they're tired.
Yeah, you're tired, but you can't. It's like, why am I going to, like you said, bother somebody else's life when I'm trying to live my life?
Right. It's like, why take make the effort?
It's like, I don't see these people going around shooting each other and infringing on my rights. If that's what they need to be happy, and Rosie O'Donnell, she'd come out a couple years ago about her, because I think she got married and divorced, and
she remarried now.
Yeah, she's with somebody else. But they did a cruise, and she had brought her kids. She's adopted.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how she feels that this was a really good decision because she's able to give to these children the love that they didn't have at the foster home or were neglected by their own parents. So, I'm like, on that end, I can't knock somebody because of their sexual orientation. That should not even be...
It shouldn't even be up for discussion.
Yeah, that's really nobody's business, what you're doing. You know what I mean? And what should be highlighted even more is that you're willing to adopt. You're willing to help another being, and I think that's part of the twisted mentality. Sometimes what gets publicized more than another. It's like, let's focus on some negativity over some positivity. I don't know.
Yeah,
that part.
That's what it is, and it's interesting because on a different topic to a certain degree, blacks had a big problem with whites adopting black kids. But blacks weren't adopting black kids either. They're saying, the kids are losing their sense of culture, which is BS because in reading the research on white families adopting black kids, they do, embrace that child's culture. They have to. I always kept yelling at Angelina Jolie, said, you got to take that child to a black hairdresser.
We were watching an old episode of Tyra, and she had some children on the panel and about the hair, and some of them were interracial byproducts. Some were, black, whatever. But she was, what is good hair? I'm not going to get, that's another whole nother. But what was funny is she told one of the ladies, she was a Caucasian mom, and she was relaxing her child's hair at a very young age. And the mom's excuse was, she didn't have time to sit there for like an hour to try to go. And I was like, why don't you just take some classes? Right. Learn how to deal with our type of hair. It's not that hard. And she was just like, yeah, I'd rather just get the relaxer and put some tracks in and call it. It's like, okay, she's 8. But anyhow, there is that extra step that some are willing to take and some aren't. So.
Well, you got to pray for the new normal, because I was looking at a list of shows that were coming back, and new normal was on the chopping block, kind of, but it can come back. People like it, but we got to boost it.
It didn't really get that much rating.
I'm assuming that people watch it, but these days the networks are finicky. They could have 5 million viewers, and that's not enough for the network. So I like Nene Leakes. I watch Housewives of Atlanta because I think those women are ridiculous, and I admire her specifically because she had a goal. She wanted to become an actress, and she really, she had, like she says, I have arrived, and she really has arrived, and in completing her goal as an actress. So kudos to her. So when we get back, Erlene's going to do one of her famous cards. It's going to teach us something else about relationships, love, and all that good stuff. Hi, and we're back, and this is the Infinite Elevation Hour, and Erlene is now going to demonstrate or talk about love.
Thank you, Natalie. I have this great book that a friend of mine at work shared with me. It's called Love and Respect. And I haven't really had a chance to sit down and read it, but I did want to share the crazy cycle with everyone. And it kind of looks like this. And I asked my boyfriend about it, and then he was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. So,
Is that how he said it?
Yeah, I did. And this is mostly like in marriage, but, I translate that with relationships too. And basically it says how we react with love and without love. So on the crazy cycle, when a man doesn't get respect, he acts without love to the female. And when the female doesn't feel loved, she acts without respect towards him.
Okay.
So it's like these are kind of like what we need in male and female relationships.
Right.
But to combat this crazy cycle, because it can keep going on and on, you have to give the other what they need, regardless of what they're not giving you. So, for example, if the man is not giving you love, you still give him respect. Because then he's going to question, why is she still, like, respecting me? I ain't giving her love. I got to turn around and give her love. And the same way around, if the man gives her love, even though she's not respecting him, she's going to feel like OMG, So I thought that was kind of an interesting way at putting maybe some of the dynamics and some of the craziness, aside from just taking a break. Because sometimes, you know what, we need a break from our significant other, but not to the point of like disrespecting them.
Right.
And sometimes it can happen, but when you do catch it, you sincerely apologize for it.
Right.
And I know it can be tough with male and female energies, because sometimes, I know for myself speaking, I feel like I can do it. I can handle it. Like even prior to being in a relationship, I felt funny about my boyfriend like carrying my bag or something, but he's like really into that. And I'm like, okay, you can do that. But I really, really got it, So it kind of pisses my mom off because she's like, you don't need nobody to do nothing for you, Like she comes from that mentality, like a woman, strong woman can do whatever. But at the same time, he feels like that's his way of showing me love, like, so I have to respect that boundary. So I think just some things to think about, and I think it can also go with like other relationships, like I was stating, maybe even with your parents or with friends or whatever like that. The other thing I wanted to share is I brought my tarot cards. Something was like, oh, let's just pick a card and work with it for the week. You want to try?
All right.
Let's try that. Pick a card and work for it. I'll pick one, and you can pick one if these books will chill out for a second. And just one. So our time is not. And I did not shuffle the deck before we came, but that's just an intro card. And some people have bad inklings about tarot cards, but, like, I don't know. I don't think they're bad. I remember when I went to Borders when it was still in existence and I bought one. The lady was like whispering and then like looking at me all funny and stuff, and I was like, okay, it's not really that big of a deal. So all I'm doing right now is just shuffling the deck, and these are kind of cute because they have stars on the back, just a design. And what cards do mostly is pull from your consciousness, right? Your intuition.
Right.
So you can ask a question before, or you can just be miscellaneous or whatever. So I'll ask you to cut the deck. I know I'm not really a good shuffler, but Natalie's going to shuffle some more. If she, I don't know.
If she can't, okay, I'm going to do what you... There's some people there.
No, I know. When you go to, like, the casino, they're, like, doing magic tricks. I'm like, are you sure you're not a magician back there? Did you not slip a card under there? Like, you went really fast.
Okay, now what?
Okay, so now I'm going to just split them out, and you're going to pick one for the week. Yeah, one for the week.
Am I asking a question?
It's up to you. You already picked it. All right, I'll pick one. Okay. Let's see. Let's reveal at the same time, okay? The count to 3. 1, 2, 3, then reveal. Okay. 1, 2, 3, reveal. Oh! What'd you get?
I don't know what you gotta.
Well, you have to show me. Oh, 5 of Swords. What's going on, Natalie? I got 3 of Pentacles. Hard work ahead of me. Really? You did?
Is that what you're trying to tell me?
All right. So, you sure you want me to read this one, or you want to read it to yourself?
Why? What does it say?
Okay, the key. Lack of sensitivity, interested only in self-gain. Too involved in selfish gain, lack of thought will cause great pain. Ruling by force does not give prolonged security. Breakup, severing of ties could indicate that someone has run away or left abruptly. A chance of losing something by theft or unfair dealings. Does that resonate with you? I can read the reverse. If there is no change in attitude, loss can be incurred. Let go of pride and narrow view. Ego can inhibit. Intrigue and deception involved in a personal situation. A situation that caused all kinds of emotional problems. Involved in an unfair decision. Hard to correct at this time.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough card. You might have to pick another one for more clarity. Hold on. I will read my card. Yeah.
And all you hear is air.
No. Well informed, you have great skill, ability, and talent. You can make great progress now using skills and your know-how. There's a recognition or award for my talent or ability, indication of activities within an organization or fraternity. Efforts will be finally rewarded. Some monetary recognition. That would be nice to get some money. I know, I accept on that. Do you want to pick another card?
I'll pick another card.
All right. So, what we're seeing now is to get more clarity from the deck. You can do that. Ooh, that's a good card, Natalie.
Wah-ha!
All right, so we're going to disregard that first one. It's a 6 of Wands. And for those of you that are not familiar with tarot, it's divided into 4 sections. The Pentacles, the Wands, the Swords, and the Cups. The Pentacles deals with money. The Wands kind of like activity and business and things of that nature, enterprising. Sword, challenges, difficulties, and the Cups are more the emotions, okay? So, for you, my dear, that is the 6 of Wands, and have faith, you can win. Good news coming, success is near, winning all that you hold dear. You are going to succeed, keep trying. Relationships will get better, possible journey as a leader or representative. Efforts directed toward the arts or sciences will prove successful. It's a really good card.
Yeah, better than that doo-doo.
Yeah. And so we will work with these cards, and then let's see if anything pops up in the week related. I'm going to ask you about it. I'm not even going to put these away. I'm going to like put them off to the side on my deck, and we'll get back to them. But that's what I wanted to share with everyone, is that I do these sometimes to give myself some insight or to see what's going on, instead of going to maybe a psychic or, I don't know, something like that. You know, we all have the answers within us, and we have tools to help us, you know, and finding those tools and tapping into them is kind of a neat way to have a spiritual experience, I find. I love cards, I love incense, I love candles. I'm not a witch. You know, I'm just saying. Natalie's looking at me like, what the heck? But no, I just say these things like, you know, because I surround myself with my experience. And these are the things that I've come to realize, like, make me feel good. Like, I walk in my room and it smells really nice. Serenity, peace, you know? Instead of smelling like dirty clothes. Like, come on. So, I'm just saying, which happens a lot for me. But anyhow, that's all I wanted to share. And again, you can get these online if you're interested. You can, if you're not even really ready for, like, the cards, you can get the book or a book. Or do a quick search on tarot and some of the things that it's used for around the world. And some people get really deep with it. You can do like 10 card spreads, you can do star spread. It's just all different ways of getting a result, like, or getting an answer about something.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Earlene.
You're welcome. I know you have some Emma for us.
Emma always says that there's good for us and we ought to have it. In order to have that good, you've got to be able to see it. Therefore, you've got to bring the invisible to the visible. Emma says that there is good for us and we ought to have it. And we have to remember that God is our good. And if you have that good and you know that that good is God and you're one with God, then you can already have that good. You've got to feel it. You've got to walk with it. You've got to speak your truth. You know, one of the things that came to me today was that, you know, people oftentimes don't want to be who they are. They want to be something else. Because for fear of what other people are going to think about them. And so, and I'm talking about on a positive notion, you need to stick with your guns, basically. You need to stick with who you are. You can't worry about what other people think. You're not here to live for them. You're here to send out a message, do the creative thing that you're supposed to be doing throughout this universe so that somebody can say, okay, I can do it too. It's not about other people. It is always going to be about you. And you have to get to a point where you are satisfied with your life before you decide, okay, I'm going to help this person, I'm going to help that person. Your life has to be good. There's a time where you take a step back and you have to tell people no. When I started telling people no, oh my gosh, there was backlash. They were like, oh my God, you're going to hell, this, that, and the other. And I was like, love and light. There's a time where you're going to discern for yourself that this is the time that you need to spread your wings, you need to do your thing, you need to make your mark in life. And sometimes it's an inner voice telling you the things that you need to do on this earth. And you don't have to listen to the outside voices that are saying, well, you're not ready. You are the person that deems when you are ready to do your thing. Nobody else. As long as you're talking about the truth about yourself, denying all error and illusion, you keep your mind steady that there are no persons, places, or conditions that has the power to bind your spirit, that you are already success, you are already wonderful, you're a whole, perfect, and complete. There is nothing that can stop you. You are the ones that determine your path, your evolution, your illumination. So seek that good, know that it's for you, and know that you can only have happiness in your lifetime. So stay tuned next time when we have more spiritual insights, greater news of the day, current events, more creativity, more tarot cards or divine cards or whatever it is. Stay tuned with us, stay with us, and stay blessed.
Thank you. Take care.